Game number 5 of the 2006 Clover Hill JV football season would get underway with Clover Hill taking the opening kickoff, but the Cavaliers found little success early on and would end up punting the ball away to the Lancers. Manchester would go to work early and go to the air with this 27-yard pass play, and then 2 plays later, they would have an even longer run as they went up the middle and into the end zone for an early score against the Cavaliers. Their 2-point conversion would prove successful, and it would be 8-0 Lancers over the Cavaliers early in the game. The Cavaliers finally had something to cheer about in their second possession. A good pass play from Josh Bailey to Marcus Jackson and a good rushing play by Lamar Giles, followed up by a couple of good runs on the keeper by Bailey, put the Cavaliers into the scoring zone. The downfall for the Cavaliers on this drive down the field would be 3 unsuccessful pass plays. And with that, rounding out 4 downs, the Cavaliers would be forced to turn the ball over on downs to the Lancers. The quarter would end with the Lancers on a drive against a determined Cavalier defense. The Lancers would turn over the ball on downs, but then the Cavaliers turned it right back over on an interception. And it wouldn't take long for Manchester to find their way back into the end zone for the score. The Lancers followed it up with a successful 2-point conversion. The Cavaliers would regain the ball at midfield thanks to this great kick return by Chris Smith. Again, it turned out to be frustration for the Cavalier offense. They just couldn't seem to deliver. And again, the air attack wasn't working for the Cavaliers. 3 plays, and again, the Cavaliers were forced to punt away with another great kick by Dakota Thistle. Again, the Lancers seemed to be able to drive on the Clover Hill defense. The game was becoming a brutal, hard-hitting event, and several members of both teams had to be helped off the field, including number 66, Logan Keeter, for the Cavaliers. The Cavs didn't give up the fight, though, and quickly they turned the tide with good defensive play. This one resulted in an interception by Chris Smith, who would bring it back into Lancer territory. It would only leave time for 1 play for the Cavalier offense as the clock started to wind down on the first half of the game, and unfortunately the play would go unsuccessful, and the Cavaliers would head to the halftime break down 16 points to the Lancers. The Lancers received the opening kickoff for the second half, enjoying that advantage, and it looked as if they would drive on the Cavalier defense. But once again, as the Lancers got close to midfield, the defense for Clover Hill got tougher, and good playing would lead to another interception by the Cavaliers, this time by Bernard Clark. The Cav attack would be short-lived, though, as the exchange between Josh Bailey and Michael Haynes resulted in a fumble, with Manchester making the recovery. The Cavalier defense on the spot once again, but they would regain the ball for the Cavs as Wolfgang Golke stripped the ball with A.J. Clanton making the recovery. The Cavalier offense now made progress as runs by Michael Haynes and a good scrambling run by Josh Bailey had the Cavaliers on the move downfield. With a little relief from a backup quarterback for Bailey and a few good plays, the Cavaliers continued to drive, getting great extra effort from the team. And then A.J. Clanton would finally get the Cavaliers on the board with a 10-yard run into the end zone. With the 2-point conversion also being good, the Cavaliers had now cut the Lancer lead in half. The Lancers, however, would answer right back and came on strong with a 75-yard run play, which would carry them into the end zone to gain 6 of the points back. Their 2-point conversion would fail. The Lancers now held a 22-8-point advantage over Clover Hill. But the Cavaliers were not out of this game yet, and A.J. Clanton would prove it as he answered back with an 80-yard kickoff return for the Cavaliers and another Cavalier touchdown. The 2-point conversion was stopped with many cries of protest from the Cavalier fans and what appeared to be an obvious face mask. No penalty was called, but Michael Haynes would have to be assisted off the field. The Cavaliers now would attempt the onside kick, but the Lancers were able to hold on and looked to lock down the game with a first down as the clock started to tick away. But the run by the Lancers was called back on a penalty. and it was now up to the Clover Hill defense to hold the line if they were going to give their offense one more chance of scoring. And the defense would hold that line, including stopping the fake punt by the Lancers. The offense could not develop any momentum, and the Lancers would run down the clock to hand Clover Hill their second loss of the season.